How is it going, people? My name is Mixo and welcome back to another video, the second video of 2025. This is going to be a new type of video. Well, I don't want to, well, I guess this is like kind of new for me because I haven't really done like these discussion type videos or like commentary things. So this is my first time doing such a thing, and there's going to be a lot more of that this year. So I'm excited about that. But for today's topic, we're going to be talking about bold predictions for 2025. These bold predictions are going to span across everything from sports to music to gaming, so it's gonna be pretty fun and I'm excited to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get started. And the first prediction that I wrote down on my notes was it's gonna be a big year for underground / new artists. If you remember last year, it was mainly overshadowed, like the whole summer was just people talking about the Kendrick and Drake beef, and there was like a lot of other beefs that were going on, and that just took a majority of the year basically. Most of last year's music was occupied by Drake, Kendrick, Kanye West dropped 2 albums last year, and we also had album drops from Vince Staples, Schoolboy Q. J. Cole was also active last year when it came to features and singles and all that. And I saw this clip in an NFR video. Shout out NFR podcast. They're one of my favorite YouTubers when it comes to like music discussion talk. But they put out a video about kind of like the similar thing I'm doing, predictions, but it was more tailored towards music predictions. And they pointed out a trend that like it seems like every like halfway point in the decade, there's always new artists that like pop up and they just make a name for themselves. 2015, you had the SoundCloud era that popped off, and we had artists that blew up like Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Pump, 21 Savage, Kodak Black, and it was just a massive year for new artists in 2015. And the same thing could be said about 2005. You Kanye was on the rise. Lupe Fiasco was also blowing up. You had Southern hip hop that was taking over, like UGK, Lil Wayne, and the Big Timers, and that whole like era of Southern rap. And it's just been this constant trend of artists blowing up like every 5 years. Who knows? And maybe the next biggest hit from an artist is making that song right now in their basement or room, which is crazy to think about, because that happens a lot, more than you would think. You know, an artist puts out a song that they made like maybe in an hour, 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it's getting all this attraction on social media and it's blowing up like crazy. I'm definitely gonna be more tapped in with new music and new artists this year because I do want to talk about that on my channel more. I want to put exposure onto smaller artists. I want to talk about more music discussions. I barely listened to any new music last year. Like, I would see announcements for albums that I was excited for, like, oh shit, this new artist is dropping, yeah, let's fucking go. But when it actually came out, I just didn't tune in. So I'm gonna try to be better at that, and I definitely want to discuss more music stuff this year, so be on the lookout for that. But let's go on to the next prediction. So my next bold prediction is specific to one artist, and that is Kanye will drop an album this year, but it will massively disappoint, and Kanye will go on a long rant and announce his retirement. So I don't know if y'all been tuned into the Kanye verse, but he has been posting snippets here and there and teasers for this new album he's dropping called Bully. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, Vultures 1 and 2 were massive disappointments for me. Like, if you want to hear Kanye at his lowest effort and not giving a shit at all about the quality of his music, then I mean these albums are for you, I guess. But yeah, man, I mean everything from the production to the mixing to the writing, like it's all such low effort from Kanye. And as a massive Kanye fan and as an artist who is inspired and influenced by Kanye West's music, like, it was just so sad to see this downfall from him. And apparently he's teasing that he's gonna have a major comeback with this album, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I think it's gonna be a massive disappointment. And I think it probably will still do numbers just because of the name attached to it. Kanye West is, you know, he has made such a legacy for himself, and he has such a cult fan base that's gonna like be there every time he releases a new album. But I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to like the general public and just fans who tune into Kanye but aren't really like stans, I think it's gonna be a massive disappointment. I think people are gonna start to hop off the Kanye bandwagon, and I think it's gonna be such a flop to where Kanye goes on this long ass rant on social media. I think he might go on like IG Live or he's just gonna have like a public freak out where he's just saying, oh, you guys are fake fans, y'all never loved me, and you know, all this shit. Because it seems like every few years Kanye just has like this random mental breakdown, and I feel like because the album might not do as good as he expects, I think he's gonna feel some type of way, and he's basically just gonna say, you know what, fuck y'all, if y'all don't like the music, then I'm just gonna retire. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can honestly see that happening, which I'm not gonna lie, maybe for the best, because Kanye's mental health and his music is on a steep decline. And I mean, I wouldn't be upset. Like, if Kanye announced tomorrow that he was gonna retire from music, I will not be upset one bit. And that's because this man has given us so much good music. I mean, we could talk about albums like Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I don't know why I paused for a second there. Freaking Life of Pablo and 808s and Heartbreaks. Those albums are just so influential for the time and inspired so many other artists to make music. And it's just like, Kanye already has the legacy built, so I will not be upset one bit if he just decided to call it quits. So this is gonna be my last music prediction, but I said Playboi Carti will drop his album, but it will be a massive disappointment. I don't mean disappointment in the way that he's making his fans wait a long ass time for his album drop. Like, he keeps delaying the album. I think it was supposed to come out like in 2023, and then he pushed it to 2024, and it didn't come out last year. So, and a lot of fans were upset, and his fan base is crazy, dog. Like, they get to a point where if they don't get what they want, then they just go ahead and like leak all his music, and they like hack his files and like leak personal information about him. Like, it's but when I talk about disappointment, I mean on the music side of things. And I'm a little worried because Playboi Carti, it's weird because I love his music, and I know a lot of people, you know, call him mumble rap, and it, you know, it's nothing of substance, but I have a deep appreciation for it just because it's not supposed to be anything worth of like substance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just supposed to be music that you can vibe to, and music that, you know, you could play in the whip, and it's just music to just get you hyped up. You know what I'm saying? It does its job in the best way possible. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be in that same boat of this isn't real hip-hop, you know, this is just mumble trash, he's not even saying anything. But over time I just grew to like it, and you know, I'm not a hater anymore, so there you go. But Playboi Carti as an artist just doesn't seem like someone that can evolve into a greater or bigger sound. And I know he did that, and he proved that on a Whole Lotta Red. But from the snippets that I've been hearing, it kind of seems like it's going to be a continuation of that sound, which I hope it's not the case. And I'm not going to lie, I don't want to hear 16 tracks or, you know, 20 tracks of Playboi Carti doing his deep voice that he's been doing. Like, if every track is just, you know, deep voice or baby voice on this rage type beat, I think it's going to be a little stale, and it's going to be a little repetitive. And that's like my worst fear when it comes to this album. Like, I don't want this to be a Whole Lotta Red Part 2. I want to hear new sounds. I want to hear a lot of collabs too. And I sure do hope that I'm proven wrong, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, only time will tell. But I will be tuning into the album, man. I mean, he's got me excited for it, and hopefully I am wrong about these predictions. I know these past few predictions have been mainly negative, but don't worry, we're gonna get to more positive ones, and even some surprising ones, so stay tuned. But yeah, man, let's move on to the next prediction. Now, this kind of plays into a reason why I think new artists will blow up this year, and that is because I do think the TikTok ban will go through. I think TikTok will no longer be a thing in 2025, but I do think there's going to be a new app that comes out that a lot of people are going to jump on, and I think that's going to be a reason why new artists blow up. You know, we've seen the same thing happen, you know, with all these apps that have come out. It happened, I don't know if y'all remember Musically was like prehistoric TikTok, but you know, that was a moment back then, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of artists blew up from that, and then TikTok made its way onto the mainstream, and then you saw artists blow up because of that. Now we're talking artists like Yee, Sofago, Tommy Richmond was an artist that blew up because of TikTok. And I think we're gonna see the same exact thing with this new app that comes out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw somewhere that if a company in the US buys TikTok from China, I think that will like automatically, you know, void the ban. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I kind of do hope that TikTok does get banned, But okay, here's my reasoning though. Okay, I feel like, you know, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, I think it might be a blessing in disguise. And I'm telling y'all right now, if we do get that new app in a couple months, jump on it right away. If you're a content creator, if you're a music artist, take advantage of the fresh start, because there's gonna be millions, billions of new people hopping on to this new app. You know, if that's the thing, because I highly doubt that people are gonna switch over to Instagram Reels or freaking YouTube Shorts. People are just too attached to this TikTok format where you just scroll like endlessly, like it's like a constant loop of clips that are being shown to you. And I think people are like so used to that by now, to a point where it's gonna be hard for them to transition onto a new app, or not a new app, but like an already existing app that has like a similar format, but you know, not as polished as TikTok's. And I think people are gonna want a new app that kind of mimics that same format of TikTok. And like I said, if that's the case, you know, if you're a new artist or content creator or anyone that specializes in like a creative medium, jump on that app right away. Because I'm not gonna lie, y'all, you know, I could put out as many videos as I want, but it's just insanely hard to blow up on YouTube, you know, just by posting videos on there and nothing else. So I am kind of hoping that we do get a new app, so that way I could just have a fresh start and I can start promoting like clips of my YouTube on there, and they hopefully gain a big following on that. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that prediction, so let's move on to the next. Now, this isn't really a bold prediction, this is just kind of like a general prediction that I have, and that is that this will be a record-breaking year for movies. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, like I was looking at, you know, a list of the upcoming movies that are coming out in 2025, and it seems like every month we're gonna get like a massive blockbuster. You know, we have movies like Superman, How to Train Your Dragon, a Minecraft movie, Captain America. It's gonna be such a stacked year for blockbuster movies, and I'm absolutely excited for it. The same way that I'm gonna do music discussions, I'm also gonna be doing a lot more movie discussions this year. So expect some movie reviews, some movie discussions, maybe some movie tier lists. Who knows? I think it's gonna be a trend that like a movie comes out and to be like, oh, this movie is the highest grossing movie so far, but then, you know, a movie comes out the week after and it's gonna break that record. Like, oh, this movie is now the highest grossing movie of the year. And I think it's gonna be a constant trend of like, you know, every movie's gonna break that last movie's record. Like, oh, now this is gonna be the like but it's gonna be like a endless staircase. And I think this will be the year that everyone goes back to the movies again. Movie theaters like AMC have been on like a slow decline, and that's because production companies are putting movies on streaming now, you know, at the same time as like the theater release. And I guess it's just more of a convenience to watch the movie at home rather than pay, you know, however many dollars to go watch it in a theater. But I do think 2025 might change that. I think a lot more people are gonna go to the theater because there's just so many movies that are coming out this year. I think it's gonna be a huge year for AMC and all these movie theaters. So hopefully that's the case. You know, it is a convenience, right? It is such a convenience to just watch the movie at home, you know, on streaming. But yeah, it's just better, in my opinion, to go in person, you know, with friends or family to the movie theater. And you know, you get your popcorn, you get your candy, you get your icy, and then you sit down and then you watch it with a bunch of other people. And then the theater experience is it's just way more fun, bro. Like, you're in the theater, you know, watching a movie with like just these random strangers, and like you're laughing together, you're crying together, and you know, it's such a cool moment. I like as a kid, I just loved going to the movie theater because of that reason. Now, when it comes to what I think is going to be the highest grossing movie of the year, so what movie is going to sell the most, what movie is going to have the most impact, well, not impact, but that's going to have the most attention towards it, and I said that movie will be either Zootopia 2 or Superman. And I'm just going off the logic from Inside Out 2, because Inside Out 2, I think, was the highest grossing movie of last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna look that up after this video, I promise. But but yeah, that movie sold extremely well, especially for it being a sequel to the first movie, which was also massive. I mean, let's not discredit the first movie. You know, and it is kind of surprising to me that a sequel like that did, you know, as well, if not better, than the first movie's release. And I think the same thing will happen with Zootopia 2. I think they're bringing back a lot of the main cast, but I think it's gonna be a pretty cool story. Disney and Pixar have never missed for me. I think they're really good when it comes to storytelling and also animation. So I think it's Was that a low-key voice crack? Yo, chill. And then I also wrote down Superman because I think the hype for that's gonna be legit. And it kind of makes sense that it's gonna be maybe one of the highest grossing movies of the year, because the last time we got a Superman movie was like 10 years ago, I think that's what they said. So, you know, it's been long overdue, and I'm happy that it's coming out this year. And now that we're on the topic of Superman, let's talk about my most anticipated movie, which is Superman. And like I said before, the last Superman to come out was like 10 years ago. And I think it's about time that, you know, we got a new Superman, because, you know, the way they did him in the Zack Snyder universe was just like, I hated it, and a lot of people hate it. You know, to bring him back from the dead and, you know, Justice League, and then do all this other shit with him is just you know, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. And, you know, he had us in the first half, right? You know, he all had us believe that he was going to take the DC into a great state when it came to movies, but, you know, that completely fell off a cliff. But luckily James Gunn is directing the new Superman movie, and if you don't know, James Gunn has directed, I think, all 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But yeah, I mean, the trailer looks amazing, and James Gunn is known for making really good action movies, so I trust him to, you know, carry on this project. And hopefully this time the DC can get back on track when it comes to movies, because I'm not gonna lie, y'all, the amount of times that DC has had to reset their universe, or, you know, make all these reboots is just insane. Like, I'm not even gonna, you know what, I'm not even gonna speak on the Joker too. I don't know how DC keeps doing this, bro. Like, they'll introduce us to like new concepts, and we're like, oh, like, yo, that's fire, like, yeah, like, I'm all for it, and then they just find a way to fuck it all up, and it's just it's so annoying, bro. I'm gonna talk more about it in my tier list video, but for now, let's just move on to the next prediction. Like, I've been, you know, ranting, and I've been yapping too much about DC, so let's move on, bro. Now, when it comes to the most surprising movie of 2025, I think that will be a Minecraft movie. And I know a lot of people, a majority of people, are not excited about this movie. They don't like the concept. They don't like the idea of Minecraft being a live action film. They've seen like the trailers, and they think, you know, the writing's gonna be corny. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have hope that this movie will exceed expectations. Now, not like on a grand scheme of things, I don't think it's gonna be, you know, the best movie of the year, but I think people are overhating on it, and I don't think the movie is gonna be as bad as one would think. It's a very weird concept, right? You know, you have these people from real life going inside this portal, and that portal takes them to the Minecraft universe, or the Minecraft world, where it's like all blocks, and they gotta learn how to, you know, craft stuff with their hands. And, you know, they encounter Steve, who's been there for a long time, and he has experience in this world of Minecraft. You know, I have no doubts that Jack Black is gonna absolutely steal the show. You know, no matter how bad the movie is, and how corny a movie can be, there's always that one actor that makes it, you know, at least somewhat watchable. And, you know, actors that pop up in my head are, you know, Jack Black, Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell. You know, these are just top-notch comedic actors that, you know, are good at what they do. And I have no doubts that Jack Black's gonna kill it in his role as Steve. And yeah, and out of all the predictions that I'm gonna have in this video, this is the one that I hope is reality. I do hope the Minecraft movie is gonna be watchable at the very least. I mean, more so, I hope it's good. Now, when it comes to my most disappointing movie of 2025, I said Captain America, A Brave New World. And the reason why I think it's going to be disappointing for me is because I'm just still conflicted on Falcon. I don't know his actual name, but the character Falcon, you know, being the new Captain America replacement. Like, it will be the same as, like, you know, Tom Holland replacing Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. When you think about a character, right, when you think about Iron Man, you think about Robert Downey Jr. When you think about the Hulk, you think about Mark Ruffalo. And when you think, and most importantly, when you think about Captain America, the actor you attach to that character is Chris Evans. And a lot of people thought that Bucky, or, you know, Winter Soldier, would replace Steve Rogers as the new Captain America, but instead, you know, he chose Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. And, you know, that actor who plays Falcon, I think his name is Anthony Mackie. I think he's just a fine actor. No, he's never really stood out to me as like a standout character in the Marvel universe. And maybe that's because he just hasn't had enough, meaningful screen time to justify him being a main character now in the Marvel universe. And to me, as an actor, he just doesn't capture the screen, or he doesn't steal the screen and command the audience as much as a Chris Evans would whenever he played Captain America. You know what I'm saying? And when it came to like the very first Captain America movie, we had this whole arc of him going from this very timid, this shy, this very ill and sick dude, and then once he gets his transformation, and then once he goes through training and like he does all this other stuff, he becomes like this very badass superhero soldier dude. He's fighting in the war and stuff, and he's doing all this cool shit. And over the span of the whole Marvel universe, or the Marvel timeline, he becomes this leader, and he grows a relationship with the Avengers. But then whereas you replace that character with another character that hasn't really had that same arc on screen, when it comes to Sam Wilson, he hadn't had to deal with the same stakes or the same obstacles that Steve Rogers had to go through to become the Captain America. And for him to replace him as the new Captain America, it's hard for me to like get into, or it's hard for me to root for. But who knows, man, maybe this movie will completely change my mind about the character or the change. And I am excited for Harrison Ford as Red Hulk. Like, that shit looks crazy, bruh. I think they're bringing Red Hulk into the picture to bring back that OG Hulk, the Hulk smash, that very in your face, very aggressive, very breaking shit type Hulk that everyone loves and knows. So, and hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this movie changes my mind. I'm gonna go see it when it comes out, and I'm very hyped about that. But yeah, man, let's hope this movie works out. Let's see if Captain America can be brought back into a new light, a fresh start, and hopefully it works out. So with that being said, let's move on to the next prediction. Ooh, okay, this one's pretty interesting. I have a YouTube prediction, and I wrote down: a massive wholesome YouTuber will be exposed and get canceled. I don't know, man. I think it's just gonna be a complete shock when it happens. Like, you're gonna have tons of people who maybe deny it. I want to talk about a wholesome YouTuber. I'm talking about a person who maybe has a large fan base, and a person that gives back to the community, a person that has a good reputation on YouTube, someone like a Ryan Trahan, or a Mark Rober, or maybe someone like a Dan TDM. Not to say that those people are gonna be exposed, or those people have some shit going on with them, but that I'm mainly just using that as an example. I think it's gonna be on like national news. I think people are gonna be sad and upset by it, and it's gonna be a huge moment in 2025. Hey, who knows? We'll see. Like I said, hopefully that is not the case, but I just wanted to throw in like a little controversial prediction in there. But okay, and finally we're getting into gaming now. I just looked at the notes. I only have 2 predictions for gaming and you'll see why. But the first one is I don't even think it's fair to call this a bold prediction at this point, but I said that GTA 6 will be delayed to spring 2026. Like I said, I think it's pretty much a guarantee that GTA 6 will be delayed. And I don't know, man, I just feel like we would have gotten a statement or an announcement from Rockstar Games right about now, at least in December. But everything has just been speculation and rumors. Now, the last rumor to come out, I think they said that GTA 6 is expected to come out in 2025. Now, like I said, I feel like we would have heard something, like we would have seen maybe another teaser, or just like a release date from Rockstar Games themselves. And it still boggles my mind that people are upset by the delays, when it's like, come on guys, Rockstar has just never put out a bad product. I mean, that's what they're known for, right? They're known for their consistency. They're known for making these very, grandiose games, and these games are known for like their great writing, their great acting, their funny scenes, the action, the gameplay, the graphics. I mean, Rockstar really pays attention to every little detail of their games that they make, and that takes time to perfect and to craft. People are so used to having things come by quick, and it's just not a reality, bro. And when companies do rush their products because the audience is complaining and impatient with it, then it just causes a lot of problems, and people are like, why would you put this out? And it's like, dude, like, you were tired of all the delays, and when they finally put out the product and you don't like it, well, maybe you should have waited, bro. Like, honestly, bro, like, that pisses me off so much. But I don't think we should doubt Rockstar, man. I mean, they have been in the game for what, like 30 years, 20 years? Like, dude, like they know what they're doing. So, you know, I have faith that this game is gonna be amazing, and I'm absolutely excited for it. And I'm willing to wait, bro. I'm willing to wait until 2030, you know. Like, I will wait until then so they can make the game as perfect and as great as possible. But yeah, let's move on. I think this is the last prediction that I have for gaming and for the video as a whole, so let's get on that. Okay, so for this last prediction, it's pretty much a given. I said that if GTA 6 does not come out this year, I think it will be a pretty slow year for gaming. Now, when it comes to games that I'm actually excited for this year, I wrote down Skate 4 and Subnautica 2. And of course, I'm not doubting that there will be a game that comes out of nowhere or that blows up because of TikTok or the social media app that I was talking about earlier. Like last year, like for example, Lethal Company was a game that just came out of nowhere, right? And like it was a thing on TikTok and people were talking about it, and I made a few videos playing Lethal Company with my friends. So I wouldn't doubt the chance that there's going to be a game like that comes out this year. I was looking at the list of games that are supposed to release this year, and like I said, the only games that really piqued my interest were Skate 4 and Subnautica 2. And I'm excited for Subnautica 2 because it will be the first time that they implement multiplayer in the game. So expect a lot of videos on Subnautica 2 with maybe experts and Burrito for sure. And also Skate 4. Skate 4, I still have Skate 3 downloaded on my Xbox, and you know, I've always been a fan of skateboarding games like the Tony Hawk series, Skate. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the only thing I'm worried about when it comes to Skate 4 is I don't want it to be like this microtransaction fest or like this pay to play game. You know, like having to pay to unlock maybe certain skate parks or certain modes. And of course, it's a given that they're gonna have like these payable cosmetic items, like, you know, skate clothes or skateboards that you could buy, bundles and all that. So that's pretty much a given. It is EA after all, and the fact that it's EA, and it's always been EA, right? But like EA as of recently has just, you know, like that's their thing, right? They're like, that has been like the running joke when it comes to EA, is like they always find a way to profit off of every game they put out, and they just feel the need to like put this paywall in front of customers. Like, oh, you want to be this certain character, or you want to play this certain level in a game? Well, you gotta spend $5 on it, or you gotta pay for a subscription shit, or whatever the fuck. So so I really do hope it does not go down that route, but because it is made by EA, I'm gonna have a level of hesitance towards it. And I mean, they have had success recently with the game they put out on College Football 25. And if I'm being honest, they have found balance with that. And a majority of people play it solo or offline. Like, they have an online mode where you could buy cards that you could use in game, like cards of players or like all-time college football players. But it is clear that in that game they did make, you know, offline modes and solo a priority, and I hope they do the same thing for Skate 4. And I mean, it is safe to assume that Skate 4 is going to probably have a larger online community than, you know, College Football 25. But as long as it's not some pay-to-play bullshit, then hey, I'm all for it. I'm excited about it still, and I'm definitely going to be getting it. So, but yeah, that is going to be the end of the video and the end of all my predictions. And hey, if you have any bold predictions, leave them in the comments below. It could be anything, like I said, from gaming to music to sports. Do you agree or disagree with my predictions? You know, y'all let me know in the comments as well. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned because I got some more bangers coming out this week. Music video Friday, stay tuned for that. That's going to be exciting. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Peace.